Hello everyone. So this is the next lecture in real analysis. Last class we discussed few properties of open sets and the neighborhood. Now we move on to what is a closed set and we think about some results about the closed sets. Then we move on to connected sets and the compact sets. And by the end of this chapter we will think about the contour set. So up to there, if we complete, we can come out from the first chapter, and if we discuss some problems, then we can move on to the second chapter, particularly sequence and series. Okay, let me come to this limit points. See, before I go into this, if you have the question, sir, why open sets and closed sets are needed? See, open sets are informative. They are more informative. You see, if I say the set is open, then if the property is true at this point, let me say x is in A, if some property is true for x, then it is true for every point in this set. No need to check at every point. If it is true for one point, then it will be true for all the other points. That is, open sets are always informative. So what else? The good things are there that will be always stored in the open sets, or else open disk, or else and ball. In a sense, see, we think about open sets. Why? Because it will provide more information about the spaces that we are studying. So that's why we concentrate on open sets as well as closed sets. Okay, however, what is a limit point? So limit point, before I go into this, I will just try to explain you a story. The concept of limit point I can give you a vague definition, or else to a layman I can convey this in this way. Let me say you are sleeping in the round shaped cot and it has mosquito net. So you need to imagine you are sleeping in the round shaped cot and you have mosquito net for it. So if you are here, still somehow the mosquitoes are very clever. They will get into, or else somehow they will get into them, into that net. Somewhere you will be feeling irritated. So if you are here and if you can trace out one such mosquito, then you are said to be the limit point. Is it clear? Is it clear? So that is the concept of, that means you are not counting yourself. You are here and somewhere you can find the mosquito. That means in that intersection of that neighborhood, you can find one fellow apart from you. That's what the definition says here. Let me come to put those in the mathematical way. Let x be a real number, and let me come to this definition, then I can go with this. So this is the definition 1 and this is the definition 2. Definition 1 is easy to get through because I had explained some story. I can relate that with that story. So if for every epsilon greater than 0, I stress this, for every epsilon greater than 0, the interval x minus epsilon and x plus epsilon contains at least one point of A other than x, then we say that x is the limit point. That means what? See, at least one point of A other than x. X is you here actually. You are sleeping and apart from you can find one point, means you can find one mosquito. So this is the mosquito net. Intersection with the whole cot, what else you have? Excluding you, A minus x should not be empty. It must contain some elements, that is, it must contain one mosquito. If that is the case, you can say you are the limit point. Is it clear? X is said to be the limit point of A if that should happen for every epsilon. That means however you try to see, you have this mosquito net, you will say, no sir, I will just try to shrunk this mosquito net and I will just wrap that mosquito net and I will sleep. But somewhere while wrapping that mosquito net also, somewhere in that small epsilon radius, that mosquito will be there. Is it clear? So in that case we say that it's an limit point. So very vague definition. So but mathematically this is the meaning. So you take a neighborhood, intersect with that set excluding that point, then it must be not empty. Then we say that X is the limit point. However, the other way is, see, here you are and here you can find one point. So this is X and this is some other point apart from that X. This is X plus epsilon and this is X minus epsilon. Here you can find one point apart from X in that intersection. So if I can find one mosquito, how many mosquitoes are there between you and that mosquito? Since it is a real number, there are infinitely many, in fact uncountably many mosquitoes. So if you are in real field, if you trap one mosquito, it is equivalent to saying that there are uncountably many mosquitoes. The notion is clear. The mosquitoes are nothing but real numbers here. So if you can find one limit point, then you can find infinitely many limit points here. Okay, what is the negation? Negation means, see, that should work for every epsilon. If you say, no sir, I succeeded in finding one epsilon such that I get rid of that mosquito. That means somehow I can wrap that mosquito net and I will sleep so that no mosquito will affect me. If that is the case, then there will be no limit points. It is the negation of the limit point. Is it clear? Okay. Then we move on to what is a derived set. See, derived set is, if that set is said to be the derived set, or else derived set is denoted by this notation, A dash. It contains the set of all limit points of that set A. So if this is the set, then what is the limit point of this? See, let me try to plot this. For n is equals to 1, it is 1. For n is equals to 2, it is 1 by 2. For n is equals to 3, it is 1 by 3. It's going on and on. Somewhere at 0, if this is 0, near to 0, let me try to zoom this. 0 is there. This is 0.000000001, let me say. Here, after some stage, every members are started accumulating near 0. That means if you try to draw any positive epsilon radius, you can find one point apart from 0. That means 0 is the limit point. Is it clear? So the limit point of this set is A dash is 0. But however, one observation is the limit point need not be in that set A. So it can be a point which is not in A. Similar to that, if I consider open interval 1, 2, the limit points are closed interval 1, 2. Is it clear? Set of all limit points of that open interval is closed interval 1, 2. 1 is not in this set. If I say this is A and A dash will be this. 2 is also not in A. That means if I say a point is in the limit point, it can be outside the set also. But it's not the case with the interior points. If I say it's an interior point, it must be inside that set. Or else if I say it's a neighborhood, it must be inside that set. Whereas if I consider a limit point, it can be outside the set also. Hopefully it is clear. Now there are some properties here. Let me come to this property. So monotonic law will hold for this also. If A is contained in B, A dash is contained in B dash, A union B dash is contained in this, and A intersection B dash is A dash intersection B dash. But this won't happen. You kindly check with this example. And A dash of dash is, that is, limit points of the limit points is contained in the limit points derived set. Then this is interesting. Every uncountable set has uncountably many limit points. If I say a set is uncountable, it has uncountably many limit points. However, one more remark I want to mention here. A finite set has no limit points. Why a finite set cannot have a limit point? Because if I consider one limit point, it is equivalent to telling I can find infinitely many limit points. That's what I said. If you can trap one mosquito, there are infinitely many mosquitoes. If I can find one such limit point, it's equivalent to saying I have infinitely many limit points. But the set itself is finite. How to think about infinite limit points there? So it will be pointless. That's why a finite set has low limit points. If I say S is finite, then S dash is just an empty set. Is it clear? Okay. Then again, the derived set, that is set of all limit points of the algebraic numbers is real number. The set of all limit points of the transcendental number is again real number. Derived set of an infinite bounded set is bounded. So if you have a bounded set, still it is bounded. However, if it is infinite also, if the set is bounded, derived set is bounded. For example, this set A equals to 1 by n. This is infinite, but it is bounded. Right? It's bounded below by 0 and bounded above by 1. So it's an infinite set which is bounded and it has the derived set is bounded. Is it clear? So this we discussed. Again, what is an isolated point? See, in real number, pick any point. In real number, pick any point. Either it is an isolated point or else a limit point. Or else let me take in this way. Pick any point in a set of real numbers. If you are in the real line, pick any element A. Two possibilities are there. First possibility is this can be either a limit point. If it is not a limit point, it is an isolated point. Isolated means ಒಂದೇ ಇರೋದು, or else it will be always alone. Likewise. Is it clear? A point P belongs to S is said to be isolated if it is not a limit point. If it is a limit point, we say it's a limit point exactly. But if it is not a limit point, means if it is not in this, then it must come to this isolated. Is it clear? And I had given here a finite set has no limit points. So every member of a finite set is an isolated point. Every member of a finite set is an isolated point. Why? Because if I have a finite set, it cannot have a limit point. If it is not a limit point, it must be an isolated point. Clear? It must be clear. Then only you can just think about solving problems. Then every member of an infinite set may be isolated. It's not the thing that only finite set will have isolated points. See, if I consider natural numbers, how they are spaced, it's spaced 1, 2, 3, 4 likewise. So they are isolated. They are always sitting individually. They are isolated. In the sense they are not the limit points. If I omit this and try to draw the epsilon radius, no fellow I can find. Is it clear? Is it clear? So that's why this set of all natural numbers is isolated, although it is infinite. Similarly to the Z, same case. Then, if the set has no isolated points, then the set may be empty or infinite. See, if the set has no isolated points, means the set has limit points. So in that case, if it has a limit points, then it is infinite. If it doesn't have a limit point, it can be empty. Is it clear? If a set has no isolated points, then the set may be either empty or infinite. But if the set has all the points are isolated points, it can be infinite, and it cannot be finite, because it can be finite if all the points are isolated. If all the points are isolated, it can be finite. Likewise, I can give you an example for infinite set which has all the points as isolated points. So these last 1, 2, 3 and 4 should be carefully observed regarding the isolated. Now, what is a closed set? See, closed set means a set is said to be closed. Some people will say, sir, a set is said to be closed if it is not open. No, it's totally wrong. Because let me say this set AB, open at A and closed at B. This is not open. Can I say this is closed? Not open does not implies closed, or else not closed does not implies open. That should be clear. Then what is this closed set? A set is said to be closed if it contains all its limit points. Okay. So, and the other definition is, this is actually the definition which will work. We can relate the closed sets in terms of open sets. This is not the way. If it is not open, it is closed. If it is closed, if it is not closed, it is open. No. A is said to be closed if the complement is open. It is A complement means you take in that whole real number, you neglect or else you subtract A, that is A complement. That should be open. Whenever A complement is open, A is closed. Whenever A complement is closed, A is open. Is the idea is clear? That's what I said. Not open does not implies closed, and not closed does not implies open. And phi and R are closed sets. That means they are also open. So they are called clo-open sets. And arbitrary intersection of closed sets is closed. Finite union of closed sets is closed. But whereas arbitrary union of closed sets need not be closed. Why? Because, see, I took an example here. I will try to illustrate this. So, union of a singleton element where A is an element from open interval 0, 1. So, I am unioning all the elements that belongs to open interval 0, 1 means I will get finally 0, 1 only. And it's an arbitrary union. But what can you say about singleton set, whether it is closed or open? How to say it is closed? Whether it is the set is finite, singleton means, let me say S is singleton. What is the cardinality of S? It is 1. Whether it is finite? Yes, it is finite. If you have a finite set, what is the limit point? Limit point of a finite set is empty. So S dash is empty. Whether S dash is contained in S, empty set is always contained in S. That means S is closed. Or else, if I consider any finite set, the limit points of a finite set is empty, so it is closed. Finite set is always closed, singleton is always closed, so this is closed. So this is being union of closed sets. The right hand side I am getting open. So this is valid because of this. It is meaningful in that way. Clear? Now we move on to, because what else we studied for open sets, we are trying to make that in a parallel way. If A plus B are open, we said that A plus B is open, or else any one of them are open, we say that A plus B is open. But here, if A and B are closed, A plus B need not be closed. The example is given here. A is n is in n. This is B, which is minus n plus 1 by n. A and B are closed. That means if you think about the limit points of this is empty. So A dash is contained in A, it's closed. Here also B dash is contained in B, this also closed. Clear? But however, a plus b is 1 by n, it is not closed. Why? Because the limit points of a plus b is 0, but 0 doesn't belongs to a plus b. So a plus b whole dash is not, it is not in a plus b, so it is not closed. It's clear. See, this is interesting. If a is open and b is closed, then a minus b is open. See, to remember this, you need to remember the characteristic of the first fellow whom you are this is a minus b, means you are subtracting b from a. So first fellow under consideration is a. If a is open, a minus b is, and b should be closed here. A is open and b is closed. So this is open and this is closed. Open minus closed is open. Similarly, closed minus open. So you need to concentrate on the first fellow is closed. In fact, we can give the proof for all these things, but not necessary. Let me go with the flow. Then what is the closure of the set? Closure of the set is, see, we already studied what is a dash. What is a dash? Limit points. What we do is, you union them with a. What is a union a dash? That is nothing but closure. We say that a bar. Is it clear? So that is a bar, a union a dash. Here a is contained in a bar. By the definition it follows, because a bar is nothing but a union a dash. So where does this a lies? A lies in a bar. So a lies in a bar. If a is contained in b, a bar is contained in b bar. A union b bar is equals to a bar union b bar. A intersection b bar is contained in a bar intersection b bar. And see, this all will go, this will follow with a dash. What else it is true for a dash, the same is true for this. Why? Because a bar is associated with a dash. So don't confuse with a interior, a bar and a dash. So this is different, whereas these two will act in the same way. Clear? Whereas a bar and a dash. Now, why does this? It is in the other end it's not possible. That is, a bar intersection b bar is not equals to a intersection b bar. To answer this, I have an example here. A is q and b is irrationals. Then a intersection b is empty. So a intersection b bar is empty again, because a intersection b bar is a. This is nothing but, let me consider this set to be S. So what is S bar? Let me consider this to be S. What is S bar? S bar is S union S dash. What is S? S is empty. What is S dash? It is empty. So S bar is empty. So S bar is empty. But what is A bar? Closure, that is rational. What is B bar? See, for the A bar it is nothing but A union A dash. Right, that is A closure. But A is rational here. The set of all limit points of the rationals is real. So A bar is real. For the irrational also same thing. The set of all limit points of the irrationals is real. So it is irrationals union real. It is again real. So B bar is R. What is A intersection? A bar intersection B bar? It is A bar is R, B bar is R. So their intersection is R. So see here, one way you are getting it as empty, the other way you are getting whole of your R, which is not equal. So that's why this inclusion is there. Again, see, set of all limit points, derived set is always closed, closure is always closed sets of R. A is closed if and only if A set of all limit points is contained in A. That's what the definition is about. However, you can use this definition. A is said to be closed if A bar equals to A. Is it clear? So, however, this note should be there. Hopefully, I had written in at the last end. See, A interior is contained in A is contained in A bar. If equality holds here, it's open. If the equality holds here, it is closed. Okay. Now, closure of the closure is closure. Bolzano-Weierstrass theorem says every infinite bounded subset of R has a limit point. Every infinite bounded subset of R has a limit point. We will study in detail about this while studying the sequence, because in the sequence also you can say every bounded sequence has a convergent subsequence. Those things we will study, and what will happen if I drop the infinite case, whether it is necessary, sufficient. We will study those things in detail in the next chapter. But however, Bolzano-Weierstrass theorem says, it assures that whenever you have an infinite bounded subset of R, it has a limit point. Again, ninth one. See, whenever A is bounded above, supremum of A, either it exists in A or else in its limit points, A dash, derived set. Either it is in A or is it in A dash means supremum of A is in A, or A dash means A union A dash. But what is A union A dash? It is A bar. That's the thing. Supremum of A is always in A bar. Similar to that, if it is bounded below, infimum is in A or else infimum is in A dash. So, infimum of A, either it is in A or it is in A dash. So, this is nothing but A bar. So, infimum of A is in A bar. Again, if A is bounded, then supremum of A, infimum of A is in A bar. Same thing. Okay. Here, 12th one says, if A is non-empty, bounded above closed subset. Here I didn't say about the closedness. But if it is closed, then supremum of A will be always in A. Similarly, for the bounded below sets, infimum of A will be always in A. That means limit points. If it is closed means what? A dash will be A only. It contains all its limit points. Clear? So we conclude with this and we move forward with the properties of compactness, connectedness and the dense subsets of R. Then we try to end the first chapter and we solve few problems related to this first chapter. Already we solved the problems on countability, so we have few more problems that will be discussed. Thank you for watching.